author of the Hollow Man series. Paul, how are you? And we're going to try to stay focused in this. I have ADHD. My guest has ADHD. She helps other people with ADHD. And it's very interesting. I was listening to a podcast today with Mel Robbins involving Dr. Marks was talking about ADHD. So it's a perfect topic. Paul, how are you?
I'm good. I'm anxious to hear about this subject because I don't believe I have ADHD, but I know lots of people do. So I want to know more about it. So welcome,
I'm
Amanda.
proud. I'm a proud recipient of being ADHD. I learned it. It took a long time to develop and manage very well. My guest today is Antonia Bowring. Antonia, thanks for stopping by. And you discovered this later in life, right? That you were diagnosed with ADHD. How did that journey begin?
Yeah, well, like many, many, many parents, my son was in middle school, got the diagnosis, and I was like, oh, wait, that sounds exactly like me. And that led me to get my own. And yeah, very typical, very, very typical way for someone older to get their diagnosis.
Right. And how did that change your life?
Oh my God. How didn't it? Would be the better question. Um, I guess the image I would give you, I'd give you two images. When you have undiagnosed ADHD and you grow up with it, particularly when I was growing up, like no one even knew what those letters meant, right? It's kind of like every day you get these little paper cuts on your arms. Every day things go wrong. Every day you're like, why did I do that? What's going on? Why? And one little paper cut is no big deal, right? But when you get multitudes of them over time, they become festering wounds. And I'm sorry, that's a graphic image. And you just start thinking, like, what's my problem? Why am I such a F up? Why am I, why can't I just do what I think I should be doing? And when I got a diagnosis, it was literally like, the shame washed off me. And it wasn't as if I was like, oh, I have ADHD. Okay, I don't have to worry about that anymore. But it was more like, oh my God, there's a good reason why I can't focus on your face, why I can't remember your name, why I'm looking around
Yeah,
like
this
this
is
at a
me.
party.
And then I always get upset at myself when I do this.
Yeah,
But yet I don't have the symptoms of on the spectrum. It's more ADHD because I
yeah,
know that because how I am able to relate. But I'm like, why is it that? But I look at athletes too, and they go and they unfocus. And I have to look in that little camera, that green light, and it's the hardest thing in the world to do.
yeah. And
Impossible. And that's probably where the I can see the difference in me. Yeah, but go ahead.
yeah. So, no, just one tiny small hack. So, I can't, I don't just say, oh, I can't focus on people at a party. So that's because I have ADHD. I say, oh, hey, Neil, I'd love to have this conversation with you. Can we go in a corner so that I can really focus? It's learning some behavioral changes
Right.
in order to kind of be the person you want to be.
Yeah, you don't want to have that kind of focus, losing that focus, or somebody that bounces around with you. If someone with ADHD gets somebody that can't focus too, it's awful. It's terrible.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
also terrible if there's one thing that really bothers me, and I'm going to go right to Paul with a question for you, Antonia, is that what bothers me the most is literally when I just feel like I just am lost. Everything starts to hit me, and I'm like all these different sounds, and I kind of shut down in ways, and I start to say, ugh, and I get frustrated. I mean, it really feels
Overstimulated. Sure.
overstimulate. Things
Yeah.
overstimulate me. I'm done, and I'm like, no. And then the problem is, we have this overdrive. We just can keep working forever. There's no
Yeah.
stopping us. But
Right.
then the
Crash.
crash is the worst thing in the world.
Right.
It hits
Right.
you like, oh, I'm going to accomplish all these things, and then smack.
Right. 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 We don't love balance. We really don't love balance. And that's okay within parameters, right? Not if it's ill affecting your health or relationships. It's okay. I don't love balance. I work a lot,
Me too.
but
Ditto.
I have guardrails. I have guardrails.
I have gotten guardrails thanks to my fiance Vanessa, but that's the only reason I have guardrails, or I would just keep going crazy.
Right.
I could work
Well,
18, 20 hours a day and be like, this is the best thing in the world.
right,
Let's get on another Zoom call. Let's go ahead and do this. And I'll just keep
right,
going. And I
right.
can accomplish. And then the other thing we do as ADHD is we overthink we can do more than we can.
Oh
We
yeah.
really say, oh yeah, I can handle this.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I can
Oh
handle
yeah.
this.
Huge problem, particularly when, you have deadlines and you underestimate the amount of time it's going to take, the time you'll waste, the
And then
time
but it's
you'll,
kind of funny. I can hit deadlines easily, but if I give it to a team member, I'm thinking I can do it in this time. They'll do it in this time. It's not happening.
Mm, great
Not
point.
ha- not happening. So, Paul, question for Antonia.
Yeah, yeah, I'm starting to think maybe I am a little bit more ADHD than I thought. Antonio, how do you use this now, what you've learned
Mm,
in your business, and how do you help other people to progress with that?
yeah. So this is actually a very important point. Thank you. I am an executive coach who can overlay that with a knowledge and understanding of ADHD. I am not an ADHD coach. They are more precisely trained in accountability techniques. They meet with you more often. It's, I want to say more transactional, but really important. I don't really talk to my clients about timers, but an ADHD coach might spend a lot of time talking to someone about timers.
Yeah.
So that's an important distinction. Um, you know, I think the most important message that I have learned is it's like your own personality, right? Everybody's ADHD, Neil's, mine, they're all different. And you gotta kind of become friends with it and understand what your ADHD is in order to figure out it's like a simple gap analysis, right? How's it showing up in me? What's that getting in the way of me achieving or presenting as? And then what's in that delta? What are the scaffolding, the strategies, the medications, whatever, in order to get me from here to there?
You have a mission to go on so many podcasts to share this message to the world. I remember talking in our
Yeah,
initial
you said that.
in the
Yeah.
initial thing. You have a mission to share to everyone in the
Yeah.
world that you have ADHD and how you can help other people. So talk about what that is. You want people to buy, definitely pick up the book, but you have this mindset that, you know what, I want to share this to the world so I can help
Yeah.
people so that
Yeah.
they can figure this out.
Yeah. So, three things. Thank you for that. One, I have a book out on coaching, coach yourself with a chapter on ADHD, but there's some really good frameworks anybody can apply to themselves if they care about their personal and professional development. It's on Amazon, Coach Yourself, Increase Awareness, Change Behavior, and Thrive. Number two, on my website is a link to an ebook I wrote, the ADHD Success Guide, the simple strategy to increase productivity. It's something else too, but that's the main thing. Super cheap. You download it. Hundreds and hundreds, several hundred people have downloaded it around the world. And I truly believe if you can learn to better prioritize and plan, you can make a lot of headway with your ADHD. And finally, I'm working on book three, Leading with ADHD, the profound practical and physical journey. And I have 180 completed surveys. But if you are a leader and have ADHD, the link to the survey is on my homepage,
And that's
ad-strategies.com.
okay. Well, I'll definitely have that in the show notes and everything. You know, when
Thank
I
you.
think about Antonia is what there's so many different ways of looking at ADHD. It's ADD. There's multiple ways of having that attention
Yeah.
deficit disorder, and how you really utilize it. How do you make it
Yeah.
a gift? Because it
Mhm.
is a gift, but you have
Mhm.
to really realize it's a gift. When you were first diagnosed and then you went through the process and you said, "Oh my gosh, I can do things other people can't do," and I need to really
Mhm.
focus on that. Kind of
Mhm.
share some of those of your exceptionality.
Uh, oh, sure. I'll share my exceptionality. Um, I am incredibly, incredibly hardworking and resilient. So I couldn't have written a book without that. And that is, I think, coping mechanisms that I developed because of the ADHD. And they did become, you know, traits that I could really rely on to to be successful, to accomplish things. And the second thing is my empathy for others was was so much more after getting my diagnosis. I just get differentness, otherness. I have a vocabulary for it that I didn't have before. And, you know, what do we all need more of is empathy, which doesn't mean I feel what you feel, right? But, or I think it's okay, but it means I can put myself in your shoes so that we can come to a better solution together.
Yeah, and that's the key. I love what you're saying. I look at my exceptionality as I can outwork five people
Yeah,
easily. I can do that
yeah,
and continue. You think people with ADHD, ADD are not able to focus for long periods of time. That's not correct. It's only if they're interested in something.
yeah, yeah.
It's our interest. If we're
Yeah,
gonna, I'm sure as heck not gonna be focused at a job that doesn't challenge me. Forget
it's
that.
it's it's not a lack of focus. It's varied focus depending on your interest level.
Bam.
Yeah,
I
bam.
didn't know that till even probably now. And now I get that. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
had to work a job and then say, okay, we want you to do this inside sales thing and pick up the phone and call these people and then have a break in between and wait and wait and wait. Well, I could have done five things already.
exactly, exactly. And the other thing, if you have ADHD, we love variety, novelty, bright, shiny objects. So you might have a system that works for you now. Next month, it might not because your brain got
Is
bored.
already, yeah.
That's okay. Know it about yourself. Oh, I don't like that way of doing my planning. Let me try this new way with those colored pens.
All right, a little bit different for me, but you're right. Then it's like you go back in circles, and that's I don't know, or and refocus yourself to something else and say, "Oh, I
Yeah,
was wrong." But I think the word resilience, I think it's a lot of people with ADHD once they figure it out that they get back up the next day and are ready to go and go with the gusto.
yeah,
But if they're in a boring job that's not interesting, a
yeah.
life that's not fun for them, that it just leads to depression, anxiety,
Right,
and a lot of things. So.
right.
And I'm
Yeah.
hearing a lot of things on ADHD involving like a lot of anxiety. I really never had that.
Tons,
So but there's tons. So
tons
where
of
can people right
co-occurrence.
now take the test, purchase your book and stuff? Where can they go?
Well, they can purchase my first book on Amazon, the ebook, which I think is really, really great for if you have ADHD and have trouble prioritizing and planning. And the third book, that'll be in 2026, How to Lead with It. I'm getting some really interesting results from the surveys and the interviews, and I want to give leaders a platform to tell their stories. Are you a better leader for having ADHD? A worse leader,
Right.
or somewhere in the
Exactly.
middle?
I think I am very good when it comes to remembering everything photographically, almost or
Yeah,
wrote, but I'm not very good when I delegate certain tasks. That thank gosh for AI. That's all I have to say.
yeah,
And there you
yeah.
go. That's a saving grace. All right, we really appreciate it, Antonia. Thank you again. Thank you again. All right, you're listening and watching the special simulcast on the Neil Haley Show and Friday.